Hey, you could start today. Freeforming is just essentially stopping the manipulation of your hair. How your crown ultimately turns out will be determined by when you start, your hair texture, and how you cared for your hair previously. The purest approach is starting with just a few inches of hair on your head, just a small afro, maybe a little shorter than Queen Whitney right here. And if you have more fine or straight hair, you would just wait till it's a couple of inches near your ear. At this point, you would just wash, dry, and go. But let's say you've already started manicured locks, you can still begin freeforming, or what some may call semi-freeforming, just by skipping out and getting your hair retwisted and letting things be. By doing this, you allow new growth to form, grow out, and take hold of your pre-existing locks. If you take on this approach, allowing your manicured locks to freely form, you won't have the same look of someone who started freeforming from an afro, but you will start to garner an interesting new look to your crown. If you want a little more control now, you can try using a sponge and just sectioning your hair with the sponge, or you can maybe just get your hair in two-strand twists, or you can just let it go from the afro. It's your boy, DOMI Boy, here to rave about all things freeform dreads. If you aren't a member of the Congo Familia, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as some of you already know, freeforming is just allowing your clean hair to grow organically with little to no manipulation. But maybe sharing a little background on how I started can help you decide when you should start. Back in 2015, I started growing my first set. I had an afro, 4C coily hair, but a large amount of that hair was actually dead bleached hair. And so the top portion, because of the bleach, was around 3/8, while that new growth that was coming out was 4/8. Made that transition stage from the ugly phase to actual locks really difficult for me. You know, when I worked at a coffee shop, I just wear a tam during those awkward moments, and ultimately the new growth that came through from all that dead bleach hair emerged, locked over it, and ultimately saved me and gave me my crown back in 2017. But maybe if I would have cut my bleach tips off and started with my natural coils, things would have probably turned out different. Who's to say? And that's where the previously treated variable comes into play. This time the tips aren't dead, so my natural coily hair will have a huge benefit during the transition stage between afro to locks. Back when I had my afro, my hair tended to naturally bunch up a lot on its own. The only additional thing I had to do to help initiate that locking early on and to help with the sectioning would be during my weekly washes. I would run my palm through my hair with cold water and naturally help to get things moving. How your freeform crown ultimately turns out will depend on that hair texture, when you actually start, and how you take care of it. But there's no time like the present. If you have at least 3 to 4 inches, maybe even 2 inches of hair on your head, I think now is a great time for you to start. But if you're curious to know how I wash my hair to get things moving along, I do have a washing tutorial for you, especially if you're dealing with the baby freeformies, or if you're like me and you're dealing with the serious NYC cold or any urban area cold. If you're over on the East Coast and you just want to do some maintenance between washes, check out my daily routine video for the winter times. I hope all of you out there who are growing your freeform locks into the new year have an amazing experience on this new journey. Again, it's your boy, DOMI Boy, and I'll see you at the next one.